What's going on, everybody? If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. And in today's video, if you saw by the title, we're going to be going over nerfs, patchworks, and everything that they changed in the new update coming April 14th. So stay tuned for that. I hope you're charged up because you're now powered by the MMO mainframe.
There is nothing like that. The way you got me feeling, oh mama, just like this feeling. You got me high, adrenaline straight to the ceiling.
Okay, so I'll be honest, there's been a lot of changes to Guild Wars 2 lately, like a lot, an intense amount of changes, to be honest with you. But this new change is a little scary. I won't lie to you guys. It is a little scary. The opening statement of the letter says players can expect 10 to 15% reduced damage across all boards in PvE. Oh boy. Okay, so let's take a second to soak that in right there. 10 to 15% might not sound like a lot, but when you're nerfing most, if not every class, almost all classes across the board, there's going to be a significant, and I mean a significant change to the benchmark. It's going to be a significant change to the way the game is played in terms of your setup for your classes and your rotation. There's going to be a lot. You're going to have to change your rotation as of right now, for sure. For sure. There's a lot of high maxed players that benchmark, 40 to 50k DPS PvE. They're 10 to 15% less than that. So, I mean, you could use the same rotation, but, it might even change the rotations of the game just because it's such a powerful debuff. It is absolutely insane. So the game is nerfing 10 to 15% across all boards. They came out with a newsletter. Cal dropped it on Guild Wars 2 forums. I will link it in the description below so you guys can actually go to the forums and look at every single thing that they nerfed and they're changing. Right now, I'm just going to go over a couple things. I'm not going to go over every single thing, just some of the crazier things that they did nerf. They put a lot of nerfs on Engineer, Elementalist. There's a couple others. We're just gonna go through them here. So Elementalist. Okay, oh boy, you have a lot of changes. Elementalist players. Okay, I have an Elementalist as well. We have a lot of changes. Where do I really start? For example, Weaver Prowess no longer grants outgoing condition damage, which is going to be a huge change. Like, it doesn't sound like a lot, but the bonuses to the condition damage are kind of what made the Weaver condition build. So we'll get to that. Swift Revenge at 3% reduction. So you're going to get a 3% reduction. It's going to go from 10% to 7%. There's a lot of those Elementalists, a lot of those 3% reductions on cooldown moves, which is absolutely nuts. Now, the reason for this change is because they wanted to keep the damage from the old content kind of more recent with the newer content and kind of mix them both and not have the overkill from older content in PvE. And also to give balance to competitive game modes like World v World and PvP, which we love. So we are not against the balancing in those two, but at the same time, that is a lot of damage they're taking away. Now, Engineer also looks like it's got a heavy amount of changes. We got burn stack changes, cooldown changes, and timing on weapon skill changes. Guardian is getting a immense Luminary targeted nerf towards this class. So sorry, Luminary Guardians, they are targeting the nerf on that. It says in the article that Luminaries are too good, in fact. Now, most classes that are getting the heavy nerf are going to be Thief, Guardian, like I just stated, Mesmer, Elementalist like before, and Engineer. So those are the classes that are going to see the most amount of drastic change in damage. Okay, so for my fellow Revenant mains, let's go over the Revenant stuff because, we gotta talk more about Revenant. There have been a lot of buffs for Revenant, actually, not too many nerfs. Every class got an all-around nerf, but Revenant had a huge buff in World v World and in PvP. Okay, so there's a 10 to 15% damage increase in the brutality trait line as a buff, and then we also get a buff to the hammer weapon for Revenant, and as a main for Revenant, that's always amazing, so thank you Guild Wars 2. And it looks like in PvP this season that Vindicator is going to be making a smashing comeback, so Vindicator is the first elite specialization I played in Guild Wars 2, not just for the Revenant class, and I love it. So I'm personally very excited to play Vindicator again in PvP. I'll probably be one of the first people to make a new loadout for it when it comes out with the buffs on April 14th. But let's talk about the cooldown and all of the nerfs for the Revenant class that are coming up for the update as well. Okay, so cooldown changes. A lot of the cooldown changes are going to be for Torment and PvE. So a lot of the Torment ticks are going to be a lot less. That's what the main changes are. Otherworldly Bond is changing from 10% to 5% damage. Beguiling Haze is nerfed in PvE as well by a whopping 50%, so watch out for that. Twin Moon Sweep, 2.5 to 2 seconds in PvE, so not too bad for Conduit, but we'll have to test out the changes. Okay, Vindicator, Death Drop, 4.2 seconds to 3.3 seconds in PvE, so that is a pretty drastic change there, and Empire Divided got a 50% increase from 120 to 240 stagnant damage in PvE. Nomad's Advance, 1.7 to 2 only in PvP. Battle Dance cooldown reduced 2 seconds in PvP, and Reaver's Rage energy cost reduction from 35 to 30, which is pretty huge. And Awakening is also getting that same energy cost reduction from 35 to 30. So all my Revenant mains, we scaved away from this update and actually got a lot of buffs for World v World and PvP, which is actually really nice. It looks like most of the damage reduction is going to be in PvE, and it is mainly just to balance the competitive modes. It looks like that's what they're saying here. So I gotta be honest with you guys. How do we feel about this update? There is going to be a significant change in damage across the board, and they're definitely going to have to do some tweaking after they release it, just because it's so much of a damage reduction. There's going to be some things that are off about it. I just don't really, I don't know. I guess my only thing is it's going to be hard to scale the newer stuff with the older stuff if you're nerfing all of the damage across the board without changing some of the content first, right? Because once we change, if we update the content to the damage markers, that'll be a little bit better, right? But especially because not everyone is a pro, not everyone's the best, right? So if you get into a random raid or random lobby and you're just trying to run with people you don't really know too well, you want to have somebody who can at least put up the maximum amount of their damage, right? Because if you have someone who's pretty good at the game and it's like, okay, I can put up damage for my team, I can kind of help out here, it's going to be hard for them to do that now, and everyone's going to have to pull their weight. So it's just going to be a lot more of a learning curve for everyone to kind of have to learn their power and acutely know what they're doing in order to actually play, which is going to be a change. Everyone's going to have to learn the game, and everyone's going to have to contribute to raids and other missions and strikes and fractals. It's going to be one of those, everyone's going to contribute inside of dungeons and all of these events together now, instead of like one person carrying the team, which is kind of nice, but it's definitely going to take some learning and a learning curve. I'm going to link the forums down below so you guys can check out all of the changes for yourselves as well. What classes do you guys play? What nerfs and buffs did you get? Comment down below. I just want to know, what class do you have? Necromancer, Revenant, Mesmer? As always, I appreciate the love and support that you give to the channel. We are on the road to 250 subscribers. We are at 211 at the time of this video. Also, Guild Wars 2 is implementing a 50% XP boost across all game modes, 30% World v World, and 30% in PvP. So get it while it's hot and grab your XP. I'll be attending some PvP for the time being to get some extra, PvP in there, some skills, hone my skills. Lately, I've been going for Aurochs Manifested, so that's why you guys haven't seen me. I've been grinding on Twitch, so look for the link down below if you want to watch me live. I just finished the Falling Star Spear Mastery, so I'm going to do a video on that one coming here soon. It only took me about an hour to do, so it's not many steps at all. I'll be dropping a short video on the process. I just want to hit pause here for a second and say thank you all so much for the love that you bring to the channel. Without the Mainframe core, we wouldn't be able to charge up at all to drop you guys another video. So thank you so much. How do you feel about these crazy reworks and patches? A whole gigaton worth of nerfing. So watch your benchmarks, Tyrians. I hope you're charged up because you're now powered by the MMO Mainframe. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.
There is nothing like that. The way you got me feeling, oh mama, just like this feeling. You got me high, adrenaline straight to the ceiling.